Well, here we go. We're going to start off just like the NFL draft. You got 1 minute on the clock each. We're going to start with you, Reggie. What's the most important stat of this Vikings-Giants game that we all need to take a look at?
So for me, it's time of possession because look, the Giants are a team that likes to run the ball. They got Saquon. They got the threat of Daniel Jones's legs. And so I think the more that you keep the rock out of their hands, the better off they'll be. Pretty much split down the middle last time, 29-13 for the Giants, 30-47 for the Vikings in that last matchup on Christmas Eve. And so I think if they want to just put fans' hearts and minds at ease about a win on Sunday, I think they will just go ahead and just keep that ball. And that means that it's staying ahead of the chains. You know, some of these lulls that we've seen during the season, we can't see those because that's how they got messed up in the first place in that game. They had no business going down to the wire with the Giants in that game to begin with, but they kind of let the door open a little bit and allowed them to get back into that game. But if they control the time of possession this time around, you won't have to worry about that because I do feel like the Vikings are a superior team to the Giants, but it didn't show in that last game because they left the door open. If they do it this time, they should be all right.
What you got, Luke?
Yeah, I mean, if you dominate a stat like turnovers, I mean, that's an easy one. It's almost automatic win. If they won the turnover battle by 3 or more, let's say, 95 out of 100 times, any NFL team, you're going to win that game. That's a little too easy. I actually wrote down time of possession too, but I'll look at it from the Giants lens. This Giants offense is just not built to come from behind and erase big leads. It's also not built to just have Daniel Jones drop back 40 times a game and spread the ball all over the field. They need to run the ball with Saquon Barkley, and they need time on the clock to do it. He's the engine that makes the whole thing hum. He's the catalyst. And I think when you rob them from that opportunity by shortening their offensive possessions and amplifying the importance of the drives and moving the ball, I just think where any other offense would still have a chance, the Giants offense, when you look at them, they'll be so handicapped and be put in such an uncomfortable position where everyone knows they have to pass the ball, especially you think about it on the road, at the bank, in a hostile playoff environment. Question is, kind of like Reggie brought up, can the Vikings churn out those long, methodical drives to dominate the time of possession? That would mean what? That would mean that not only Cook, but Madison as well, they're both running the ball effectively, and Kirk is finding ways to move the chains on third down consistently. I think that's a realistic situation and scenario that could play out on Sunday afternoon.
Sam, what you got?
Yeah, poise under pressure. I mean, it really comes down to, can Garrett Bradbury and that interior line stop Dexter Lawrence and his comrades on that line for the Giants? You know, because Kirk Cousins got pressured a lot in that first meeting, but he was really effective. He was 9 of 14, 2 touchdowns, no picks under pressure in that game. Daniel Jones, 6 of 14, so he was pressured the same amount of times, but he had a pick. He threw a pick in the fourth quarter to Patrick Peterson. Which quarterback is going to have that fatal mistake? And actually, Daniel Jones is less prone to interceptions than Kirk Cousins this year by quite a bit. Now, he doesn't throw as much, but Kirk Cousins has more than twice the interceptions. So I think you fear that Kirk Cousins has that Kirk game that we see a couple times a year where he just gets really flustered by the pressure. Early in the game, you can sense it. And if Kirk Cousins gets neutralized, guys, Justin Jefferson gets neutralized. And that's bad for the Vikings. So Kirk's got to be poised under pressure. And Daniel Jones, if you can force him into that one critical mistake, that's going to go a long way toward your turnover margin and your success in this game.
Yeah, for me, I had to go with third down. And this is where I go with it. You look at the season on third downs. The Giants defense was subpar, and we're not counting week 18 because nobody played. So when you look at games 13-16 for the New York Football Giants, their third down defense was the 4th best on getting off the field on third down. The 4th best. Now, granted, the teams in front of them were the Chargers, the Washington football team, who actually played well. They played okay down the stretch. And the Jets, who got better because they had a shot as well. But then right behind them is Cincinnati and Buffalo, Tampa Bay, Kansas City. So when you look at where the Giants are right now, like the last 4 games that counted, that mattered, it's this third down defense for them. So for the Vikings, it's the third down offense, of course. They've had the 17 touchdowns as the second most. Their 204 passes, the third most. And I think I'm piggybacking on Sam. It's that rush. If they can slow down the rush on third down, Trevor Lawrence, Kayvon Thibodeau, the Vikings have a chance. If not, they're going to struggle. They need to get first downs on first and second down so they're not having to go third long, because this third down defense of late for the Giants has been really good. And so that's my stat that I think is very important to pay attention to. The Giants defense on third down and the Vikings offense. What's going to happen? Who's going to step up?